원래 태반일국서 원래 태반 안 해. 기술 수업.
Is everyone ready? All right, we're going to get started. So you want to take your marker to your piece of paper. I'm going to be using my brush pen first, just to teach you guys how to use it, and then we'll be going into the marker. So first, when you're using a brush pen, you want to make sure that you're holding it at about a 45-degree angle. So like just like right here, not completely to the side, not complete like this, but just like that, a slight angle. So once you're at this slight angle, you want to take the brush to the pen, or to the paper, and you want to start lightly when you go up and dark and heavy when you go down, so that you have the different pressures like that. So it's like that, and then you push harder when you go down. And you can try this with your markers. It works pretty much the same way. You go up lightly and down harder. Up lightly and down harder. If you just try this a couple of times, you can get the strokes pretty easily. All right. So once you get that, you can sort of get into a letter. So we're going to try one of the easier letters. We're going to try H. So we're going to go, just to show you how it's done. You don't exactly have to know how to do it perfectly yet. We'll get to that later. But we're going to go up and down and up and down. So you kind of get that different feel of the letter, so that it's not just like that, but you sort of get that interesting look to it that calligraphy has. Okay, so now that you have the basic feel to the brush pen, we're going to start with the marker. Sorry, kind of getting focus here. So with the marker, it's pretty much the same thing, but you kind of have to push a little harder because it's got this kind of tip instead of the brush pen. So you have to So you have to hold the pen differently, and you have to push a little bit harder just so you can get that same look to it. But you kind of have to move the pen. So when you're doing it when you're doing an upstroke, you want to have the pen more straight so you can get the tip of the pen and not have a thicker feel when you get to the side. So you want to go up like that, then down you want to go side so you can get that. Up. If you want full page, you can click. Actually, I'm not really sure how to make it full screen, but you can always, it depends on what kind of device you're using. What kind of device are you on? iPhone, then you can probably swipe to where you can get the speaker. Okay, that's good. All right, so from there, so to get this, you have to, like I said, when you're going upstroke, you have to use the top of the pen with the marker like this. And then when you want to go down, you have to slightly hold it to the side so that you can get the thicker side, the side that you get more ink. So then just like that, just like that. So I'll let you guys practice this a couple more times and then just let me know when you're ready. Okay, so everyone got it? All right, so we've got the basic tools. So if everyone is ready and if anyone has any questions, they can ask. Can I do the alphabet? Okay, so I can. We will have a separate class because there are more techniques needed to know how to do the alphabet, but I can do just a start with each pen if you guys want that. So I can start with the brush pen. Okay, so I'm gonna just do the alphabet real quick. That's the first few letters. And if anybody ever needs help with, basic cursive, I can also help with that. Just let me know. So just like I'm doing right now, whenever I'm going up, I'm going light and then down dark, up light, down dark, or thick, up thinner, down thicker. If I mess up the alphabet, I'm very sorry. When I'm doing this, I'm not really paying attention to what I'm writing as to how I'm writing. So I like to misspell a lot of words, and I like to get a lot of words wrong. So just let me know if I'm doing something in the wrong order, if I'm doing something wrong. It's hard to multitask when you're doing this sometimes. I've been doing calligraphy for about 4 years. Ever since middle school, I started, and I've been practicing and practicing till I got this point. There's definitely a learning curve to this, but you'll get there. Okay, there's the alphabet with the brush marker. And so you can really see when I'm going up and then when I'm going down based off of the different thickness to the line. Now this step isn't very difficult. It just takes a lot of practice. You aren't going to be able to do the alphabet right away. So what you should do is just the simple exercises this. You go up, thin, dark, thick, up, thin, dark, thick. And so you just do this over and over again on the papers. Like I have school papers where I should have been learning, where I've been doing this. And this is really good practice for beginners because it gets used to the different pressures. Now, for the pen, for the marker at least, you want to, like I said, you have to move it around a little bit to get the same feel to it. But in reality, you can do calligraphy with almost any kind of pen. So I will be teaching you guys how to work with pencils, how to work with regular like ballpoint pens. You can learn that. You can learn anything with any pen. So with the marker, this is just a simple review. You want to go up with the top of the pen and then down with the side of the pen so that you get the same feel. Because with the brush pen, the tip is way more flexible. You can move it around. It's more flexible. You can just do whatever and it'll go with the flow. But with the marker, it's more because it wasn't built for calligraphy. So you have to move your hand a lot, move your hand more than with the brush pen. All right. Does anybody have any questions before I give out the final review? Brush pens, you can order them online. You can go to Walmart. You can go to Michael's. Any craft store should have them, really. I use Tombow dual brush pens, but you don't want to buy those yet because they are kind of expensive. I mean, I stocked up on Black Friday when they were half off. And so I've never really bought them full price because they can get up to $30 a pack. I've never bought it for $30 a pack. So you can get any type of brush pens from any kind of craft store. You just have to ask. What else should we get? For now, just markers, any kind of markers, any kind of ink, really, and paper, just for now. Once we get more into the course, I will be showing you guys how to use dip pens. Now, those are not very common. Not everybody has them. So you do not have to go out and buy it. If you don't have it, you can always order it online. I just have them because I like to do calligraphy, and so I've gotten them as presents, as gifts. But I will be showing you how to use a dip pen and ink. Now, if your parents have fountain pens, those work great too. Or if you have fountain pens, that works too. Yeah, I'll be teaching you guys how to use them. As to what kind of paper you should be using, I would prefer, as a beginner, lined paper, because you have these lines, you have these guides. I will be showing you guys in the future all the vocabulary there is to calligraphy and the kind of lines, because there are certain line types that involve in calligraphy. So I will be teaching you guys all of that. But for now, I would suggest using line paper, because there's a certain guide that you can follow as the sizing and shape and proportions and everything like that. Blank paper is just a little bit too much freedom for now, until you know, like, just basic stuff. All right, any more questions? Can I write ombre letters? Okay. Ombre is a little more difficult when I don't have my blending pen, but you can, when you're writing, when you're doing the letters, you have to, like, with these ones, you have to, like, go harder, and then you have to lighten up as when you go down, so that you create that fade event or effect. So darker and then light, so you can get that dark to light touch to it. So dark to light. It's just a fancy trick I will be teaching you guys as well later on, once you're comfortable with the upstrokes and downstrokes. All right, if anybody doesn't have any more questions, we will go on with the final review. Does anybody else have any other questions? Nope. Oh.
Excuse me.
Yes.
My daughter has a question. It's okay. You can ask the question with her. Do you want us to type the question, or we can unmute and ask you a question?
Whatever you guys want. Whatever's more comfortable for you.
Okay, ask. Regarding this.
Yes, we are recording this this class.
Okay.
So if you miss it or
I'll
if you're late,
message. Yes, I will message.
Okay.
It's been checked.
we will email you guys the recording so you can watch over and over and practice if you want. Markers or brush pens, either one, whatever you guys are more comfortable with. If you want to go out, I mean, I'm not going to tell you guys to go out and buy anything right now because of everything that's going on. But if you want to order online, you can get some pretty good ones for less money. It's totally up to you, but these markers work out just fine. In the meantime, if you guys, while we're waiting for the question, if you guys want to practice upstrokes and downstrokes, you can do that right now. This is good practice time. Is the question there? I'm just going to do a couple more upstrokes and downstrokes so you guys can watch, and then we will wrap up the video. And again, this was recorded, so if you need extra time, we'll be sending you the video. Okay, my cousin wants to try, so she's going to try on the paper. And if you don't, if you're not comfortable with changing the pen, you can also go up light and then just push harder down, and you still get the same effect. I actually like using markers sometimes better than brush pens, but just because they are more smaller, and you know, you can take them everywhere, you can practice whenever you want, and just because it's easier to control. The brush pens can get a little hard to control since they are so flexible. The markers you can use them more easier. I like to write the word hi or hey over and over again, or hello, just because it's an easier words, they're easier letters, and they're just good practice for calligraphy. How long will it technically take you for you to learn all the calligraphy letters? By the end of the 16 weeks, I think you should pretty get a basic understanding of how the letters work. And what to do. Now, if you do need help beyond the 16 weeks, if you still want practice, I can always continue this. I can help you privately. I can, and there are lots of YouTube videos out there that you can watch also to get better. So how long will it take? Okay, so I'm not really sure because everyone learns different way. Everyone learns in a different like style, techniques. There's so many different aspects to it, but the basic letters, it should take you a couple weeks maybe if you consistently practice. Now, since most of the schools are closed, you know, you have more free time than you usually do. So if you find yourself bored sitting there, you can always practice. If you practice continuously, then you will get to a good routine and good level, and you'll learn faster. It's all about practice. You can't do this without practice.
Hey, Miriam.
Hello.
I loved your class. You're such a good teacher.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I do an Arabic word? I'm still learning how to do Arabic calligraphy. I'm not the best right now, so I don't think that I should be teaching anyone. But once I get better at it personally, then I wanted to get down, you know, regular calligraphy first, just so I can get used to the techniques, and so then I can get to that level that I want to in Arabic calligraphy. Thank you. All right, does anybody have any more questions? All right. We'll be wrapping up unless anybody has any questions. Just leave in the chat if you are ready to wrap up or not, or if you want more time. Do we learn a new letter every day? No. I can send you guys the lesson plan that we're going to follow. We are going to, if I can just get to my laptop. So week 1 was brush letters and markers and how to use them. Week 2, let's see. It's a class every Saturday. All right, week 2, next Saturday, will be how to use pencils and various ballpoint pens. So using pencils and various ballpoint pens, it depends on what the lesson is. Some of them will take a little longer, some of them will be short, like today. Today was only 30 minutes long. Yeah, some of the classes there's more contact. Some of the lessons there is less content. So I would say about 45 minutes to an hour is going to be the class length. So week 2 will be pencils and various ballpoint pens. Week 3 is dip pens, ink pens. Week 4 is basic strokes and pressures. So the angles at which the tool should be held, downstrokes, upstrokes, and just basic. Of course, you can leave whenever you want. I'm just explaining the course for people who are curious. Then week 5, we'll be doing the alphabet. Week 6 will be a progress check. We'll do a little project, and you can send it in for a special prize. Week 7 is letter groups, like the different types of letters. Week 8 will be spacing. Week 9 will be consistency. Week 10, we'll learn something fancy called balanced lettering. Week 11, another fancy tool called distance lettering. Week 12 is faux calligraphy. Week 13 is adding doodles and details to make your pieces extra fancy. Week 14, week 15 will be different projects and examples. And then week 16 will be your final overview. We'll do one last final project for you to give out to whoever you want. You can keep it to yourself. You can give it to an Eid gift, a Ramadan gift, whatever you guys want. Or by then Ramadan will be over, so like, yeah. Okay, so we will be wrapping up. If anybody has any questions. Me too, I love extra fancy too. Yeah, okay. If anybody has any final questions, we will be wrapping up. Thank you all for coming. You guys are too sweet. Thank you all for coming, and I will see you guys next week, inshallah. Happy Ramadan. No problem. All right, bye guys.